Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yes.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
Power in great moments.
For joining us for CVM News at noon. It's Monday, May 4, 2026. I'm Amoy Harriet. Up first this afternoon, May is being observed as Child Month, a time set aside to celebrate, protect, and empower the nation's children, but also to confront the realities many of them face. This year's observance comes amid a growing concern about the safety and well-being of young people, with issues such as violence, neglect, and mental health challenges continuing to cast a long shadow. Kingston Mayor Andrew Swaby says too many children are fighting silent battles, warning that unaddressed trauma and emotional pain can have devastating consequences. Meanwhile, State Minister for Local Government Delroy Williams is reminding Jamaicans that protecting children is a shared responsibility. Speaking at the KCMC Children's Month Candlelight Vigil at the Secret Garden in downtown Kingston on Sunday, he urged stakeholders to move beyond symbolic gestures and take meaningful action to support children, both at home and in their communities.
We need to provide the spaces and the environment within which our children can feel comfortable to communicate. So our children must be comfortable in communicating the issues they have, the experiences they're having. It's not easy to ask children to communicate negative experiences. And therefore, if we don't provide the spaces and the environment in which they are comfortable to communicate that, then we are going to also have an issue or a barrier towards resolving the problem. It's a huge problem, and it's a problem that we are up to. We will not relent. We will continue as a society to confront the problem until the day we solve it as a nation.
Meanwhile, authorities are again calling on Jamaicans to speak out in cases of sexual abuse, despite the continued stigma that often keeps victims silent. Officials say a long-standing fear persists among survivors that their reports will not be taken seriously or handled with the sensitivity they deserve. Speaking on the JCF's Force for Good podcast, Senior Investigating Officer at the Center for Investigation of Sexual Offences and Child Abuse, SISOCA, Detective Inspector Debbie Jennings, says that reluctance to speak out remains one of the biggest barriers to solving complex sexual offense cases.
The evidence that we need most of the time to corroborate the witness is we may have lost it because the report didn't come initially, but there are other means. And being that it is something personal, persons do not want to share. They don't want to be laughed at. And they don't want to be laughed at about sharing their experience. So they have that difficulty. So even though we get a report, to get an additional evidence, it poses a challenge. You have some persons that do not want to be involved for various reasons. And those are some of the challenges. A lot of the suspects, as we may call them, some of them are known, but there are a lot of them that they don't know. They meet them in the social media atmosphere, and they have an encounter, and after that they can't give any specifics about them. So that poses a challenge for us to identify them and to locate them at a later date.
The Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation on Sunday began work to fix sewage and address streetlight problems on Beckford Street. KCMC crews cleared the stretch, removing debris and washing down the roadway. Vendors welcomed the cleanup exercise, saying it enhanced the appearance of the space. Now, Mayor Andrew Swaby explains the latest push, citing a sewage problem in the downtown Kingston area.
3 weeks ago, we would have given notice to the vendors on Beckford Street that we are coming in to wash down the area and make a proper assessment of what are some of the things that should be done. Today we had JPS here who did an assessment of the light situation, and they'll be coming back during the week to rectify that problem. The NWC will be here in a few hours' time to deal with the whole issue of sewage, because we have content of a perennial problem downtown. And I understand the concerns of the vendors, and we are trying to see how best we can alleviate those concerns within a limited space, because one have to understand that there is a sewage issue in downtown on a whole, and we are trying to how we can work with it until the government have the master plan rolled out. We would have washed down the areas, we would have cleaned the drains, because a lot of the drains were clogged up. I would have cleaned the drains and we are washing down the area, as you can see right now.
Now, after years of deplorable conditions, rehabilitation of the main roads in Chickwell, Forest, Success, Old Pen in Hanover have begun under the Spark program. Member of Parliament for Eastern Hanover, Andrea Perkis, says she has received complaints about the severe dust due to the heavy construction. The MP says she's visited the communities, spoken to locals, and has organized water trucks to wet the roadway whenever there is no rainfall.
I am in Chigwell today, and I'm just checking in to ensure that as we get the roads fixed, and the work has been done, that the residents are okay. Just one tiny issue, the dust, we have to control the dust, but we have made some arrangements to get some water to come in to damp the road a bit if we don't have rainfall to do that.
Now, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is hailing India's latest contribution to Jamaica's recovery and healthcare efforts following Hurricane Melissa. He says the support includes emergency medical systems, dialysis machines, and dozens of fishing boats for affected communities.
To date, in addition to the 20 tons of humanitarian supplies, India has contributed 10 special medical cubes. These are India's innovative portable emergency medical systems, each capable of being deployed within minutes and treating up to 200 cases, including surgical procedures. And I understand that 30 dialysis machines and 40 fishing boats, let me repeat that, 40 fishing boats are on their way to Jamaica. These generous offerings will contribute to ongoing efforts to boost the health sector and replace and repair fishing boats and engines destroyed by Hurricane Melissa.
As nations celebrated the work of journalists on May 3, World Press Freedom Day, Information Minister Dr. Dana Morris Dixon reminded Jamaicans that democracies demand a free press to hold the society accountable and share the truth.
Democracies need a free media. And that's why for us, we celebrate this day every year, because we understand that if we're to truly have the freedoms that come with democracy, we have to have those who are out there telling the public the truth of what's happening in our country. And that's really the role of the media. They're there to inform, and they're there to tell the truth to our country. And so as our administration has always done, we believe that this is central to getting the Jamaica that we want to see. And so to all our journalists out there, all members of the media, we say to you, happy World Press Freedom Day, and let's continue to make sure that in our country we truly have a free press.
To other news now, residents of Megitop and Bird Hill in Salt Springs, St. James took to the streets this morning, protesting what they describe as years of neglect. They say they have been without potable water for more than 4 years, forcing them to rely on alternative and often unsafe sources. Adding to their frustration, one resident claims that despite the lack of supply, they continue to receive bills from the National Water Commission. They're now calling for immediate action to address the long-standing issue.
The truck them what they obliged to sell with water, the taller drums are for $2,000. The smaller ones are $1,500. And some of my truck man them they tell us that a tank they make their money off, so we don't call them for no drum. And if you not water, we need clothes to wash. Kids' uniform to go to school. They have to go to school with proper hygiene because they don't hold the in front of teacher. We can't send them out dirty or frozen.
Meanwhile, Member of Parliament for Western Westmoreland Ian Hales is calling on the government to carry out immediate road repairs to roadways across his constituency, which he says has been in a deplorable state for the past years. Hales told CVM News that many of the roadways across Western Westmoreland are decorated with large potholes, and whenever it rains, they can be compared to riverbeds. The MP also stated that he has not been receiving enough funds from the government for road repairs and demands that better attention is needed for roads in the constituency as the sections of that roadway are now deteriorating and have been neglected by the government for several years.
We have not been able to receive funds from government to fix the potholes in Westmoreland. And they are not potholes anymore, they are riverbed right across the length and breadth of Western Westmoreland and the parish of Westmoreland. It can't continue this way. The people of Westmoreland pay taxes. They are law-abiding citizens. The motoring public pays their taxes every single year.
And it's time now for a break, but stay with us. We'll have our live interview when we come back.
Power in great moments since 1992. Oh, we have it all. Power in great moments. Relax, you got Chris in charge. Oh, we have it all. When you think alone, think Chris in charge.
Every dream conquered is another dream gained. I land and I fly again like a jet plane. Headed straight in your direction, 'cause I'm wiser, one step closer. I'm winning 'cause I work so hard. And the music keeps on playing, and the people never say we are mash up the night. Oh, what a feeling, don't stop dreaming. Keep on believing in the power of the feeling. Whatever you want, take a chance. Song in your heart, step in your dance. You got a spark, don't put it down. Shine your lights
Welcome back to CVM News at Noon. There are renewed concerns this afternoon over an illegal wildlife trade happening in the island, with reports of Jamaicans capturing and selling protected species. Now, these include parrots, sea turtles, crocodiles, among others. Now, environmentalists say they're especially concerned as the practice threatens Jamaica's fragile ecosystems. But how widespread is this problem and what's being done to stop it? Joining me now in studio for this conversation is biologist and ecologist Damian White. Good afternoon, Sir White.
Happy to be here.
How widespread is this issue of illegal the illegal sale of protected species?
Okay, so part of our culture, and you talk to most people, they tell us that growing up they have a parrot. And most of the parrot that they normally have is our native parrot. And when I say native, you have one, the yellow bill, the black bill, and even the Jamaica parakeet, which are found nowhere else in the world. So they have it. And some people might say, boy, them never know and all of that. But what has been happening now with social media now have become one of the marketplace where there are several protected species. As I mentioned, the parrot, the crocodile, even our Jamaica boa, and they have it up there. One, advertising it. Two, doing all sorts of stuff to get people to get likes, to get roses. So what they do is to generate money now, like on TikTok. So one time it used to be a few, now you see a lot of it. And the activity is totally illegal.
So environmentally, how serious is this?
Okay, so I didn't mention, I sit as the chair of the Endangered Species Working Group at NEPA. I'm a volunteer and the Scientific Authority, which play a role in protecting our native species, preventing some of them from getting extinct. That's what the site is. Endangered part now look on our species and see we have to implement measures. So if this activity continue where people go and collect like our snakes, so our snakes are not that common again. So when you see the big ones and you have it, you can't handle it properly. You're holding the animal one, you can damage it. If this continues, some of these species numbers get dropped. And they're already endangered, meaning if we not implement certain measures, we will lose them. And that's with our parrot, the snake, and even our crocodile with our law are protected.
So those are the animals that are most at risk right now?
Yes. So our at risk now, I would tell you that some of our birds are at risk. And snakes, Jamaican don't like snake. But that culture kind of changing now where we tell people if you see it, don't chop it up, call the authorities, and we'll come and get it.
So we have laws in place like the Wildlife Protection Act, yet every other week or every other month we're seeing these videos, we're hearing these reports. What's wrong? Why are we still seeing this practice? Do you think that it could be some sense of lack of public awareness? They don't know it's illegal, or they do know but they don't care?
Okay, so education is always needed. A number of people do not know some of these animals are protected. But some of this stuff on the law, when they're on live, and you put it, boy, you might get in trouble with the law, with NEPA, or the police or that, and they block people. They flagrant, they put it up there, yeah, let them go on. What is happening is, sad to say, our agencies need more help from the people to report because people watching that know who's doing it. And sometimes the agency need to know who's doing it. And I can bet you when one of these persons face the consequence of it, then it will stop. But right now, man just flaunt it like they have the power to do it.
So I'm looking right here on my phone, a release that NEPA sent out earlier today regarding wild duck hunting, which they said is illegal. And I believe that it was a recent report they received why they felt the need to put out this release. And they also included the fact that persons who are fined or convicted of hunting, trapping or possessing protected wildlife, including wild ducks, may face fines of up to 3 million Jamaican dollars. Before we talk about that $1 million figure, outside of this incident, you've seen for yourself or heard of one that happened just this weekend. Tell our viewers what that was about.
Okay, so on this weekend, there was a popular live where so many Jamaicans were sending videos linked to it, where these young men have a Jamaica boa. So right now, the yellow snake showing up, it might be breeding season or they're looking for food. We don't have a lot of them. But on this live, they had it, the stick hitting it, grabbing it correctly and telling people to send roses, send money, and organizing how we can sell it. Now, what I want people to do, you see the people out there who are sending likes and top up, they are ones who are encouraging it. Because if they weren't getting any likes and all of that, they wouldn't be doing it. And the next thing, they should know that they are trying to get money and trying to get followers, the accounts won't block them. Second thing is, you hear the Wildlife Act thing change, I see or something, you know, you hear $3 million. And one time it was 1 year prison term, it can go up now to 3. So somebody might ask, why I want to protect one snake, why I want to protect the bird? They play a very important role in our ecosystem. And when some of these animals are gone, the next generation don't see them. 2 of them play a role in some of the plant. The parrot carry the seeds all around, and that's how some of the trees grow. So they have a right. So we ask people, and have a look at heart. If you see somebody doing it, talk to them. If them don't want to hear, let them feel, report.
So $3 million and the 3 years in prison.
Ooh.
Do you think these penalties are strong enough, or do you, because you mentioned earlier that there are people who are aware of the penalties, yet they still feel comfortable to do what they're doing. Is it a case where there needs to be stronger penalties, do you believe?
All right, so the fines move from 1 million, and first it was a prison term up to 12 months, depending on the judge, and now that gone up. What I think needs to happen is more example need to be set. So when somebody says, boy, I may do that, and I can be